Well, welcome to Murray Ridge. I tried to ski it last winter, but due to an Arctic blast of cold air, all the ski areas closed. So I'm back this year, and here it is, the Day Lodge and Murray Ridge, both the longest T-bar in British Columbia, maybe in all of Canada, I don't know. There it is. Oh, that was a long T-bar. It's about 1,700 vertical feet. I'll hope they'll let this tree grow. It'll be fun to have a little tree somewhere in the middle of the run. Yeah, it's a long ride on the T-bar. It's 2 kilometers long, which is 1¼ mile. And that means that all the trails, since they meander through the forest, they are probably at least 1.5 miles long, at least. And there we go. Yeah, there are lots of trails. Lots of trails. You can choose between those two, or this one straight down here toward the lodge. Yeah, there's some really steep stuff. And then there's somewhat easier terrain here. It's still early in the season though, and they could definitely use some more snow. And on top of that, the temperatures vary wildly. Just about 2 or 3 days ago, it was minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit. And then 3 years later, today it's about 33 or 34. It's above freezing. So that's a total difference in temperature of over 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is amazing. I just wish I was here on a really powder day. Because of this enormous fluctuation in temperature, the snow right now is kind of a little bit wet. In fact, I think it even rained here maybe overnight. Too bad. But still, the runs are very long and wonderful. And a lot of them are very well groomed.
15? I didn't hear you. 15. Okay.
Well, shoot. The sun finally came out just as I'm about to leave. Nice view of the mountain, eh? Well, this is Powder King. It's snowing lightly. It's pretty cold. It's the tail end of an Arctic freeze. It's getting warmer, definitely, but it's still feeling pretty cold. And there's hardly anybody here. Look at that. That's the base area down below. And nobody here. And nobody uphill from me either. The scenery is great. Too bad this place is, everybody says it gets a lot of snow, more than anybody else around here. But it's kind of far. It's probably about 2.5 hours from Prince George to the south. And probably at least another 2 hours or more to from here to Dawson Creek in the north. Bear Mountain, a much shorter lift than Murray Ridge, but it has a single T-bar with 2 intermediate unloading stations. Beginners unload here, and then there's a further unloading station up there. So, lots of kids here. There's only 15 cars parked here, but there's actually many more people at the ski area than the number of cars would suggest. That's because while I was putting my boots on, about half the cars that were there left. I think parents drop off their kids here and then go back to town. It's only 5.5 miles from Dawson Creek, about 9 kilometers. In fact, one car just left and another came in its place. Oh, yeah, here's a new car coming. Boy, I tried this Chester Challenge, and it's a very narrow, ungroomed, just skied out kind of trail through the trees. And a few surprises like this here. So the trail continues then. That's Chester's Challenge. To the left into these trees somewhere. Whispering Pines. That's the northernmost ski area in Alberta. And it's even further north than Big Bam in British Columbia. So there's the ski area map. Right in the middle is a triple chairlift, A, and then over there is a T-bar, I think. Yeah, B.
You got it. Not this one. You gotta put your heel down really hard. Don't just try to step into it.
Comfortable chairlift ride. That's very nice. Very nice, yeah. But guess what happened? I was purchasing my lift ticket in the lodge, and I said to the lady there, I said, this is the northernmost ski area in Alberta, right? And she confirms it. But then the guy standing in line behind me says, no, it's not. There's a new ski area that I think, maybe if I understood correctly, he himself is opening up a new ski area, which is further north. So I said, where exactly is it? Northwest, east? He says 4.5 hours drive north of here. I thought I was as far north as I could get, and there's another ski area opening up now that's 4.5 hours. The reason he's here is because they don't have enough snow up there. It's strange that it seems the same thing the same thing happened in British Columbia. The further north I went, the less snow there was. Like at Big Bam, there wasn't much snow, and I'm not even sure that they're going to open again. And apparently in Alberta, same thing. You go further north, maybe the terrain gets flatter. You don't get the hills anymore, so less snow. Anyway, I'm not sure if I want to. The new ski area is called La Crique. L-A, La, as in French. La Crique, as in running water. Look at that, Whispering Pines, and there's nobody around. This place is just wonderful. And it crisscrosses their paths everywhere. Trails, I mean. I have this place to myself. Look, nobody's coming. From wide open, undulating terrain to places that look like a tunnel almost, like here. Yeah. So I'm driving from the town of Fairview to the Fairview ski hill, and all I see is flat everywhere. The total distance is maybe, I don't know, between 15 and 20 miles. And as I'm approaching and getting closer and closer to the ski area, but there are no hills. And then finally I notice what it is there's this big canyon, and the ski area is on this one of the slopes of this canyon. Yeah. So the vertical is relatively modest, maybe something between 450 and 500 feet. But to compensate for the vertical, there's a lot of wide terrain horizontally. And so along this canyon ridge, there are 3 lifts. There are 2 platter lifts. There's one, and the other one is way over there. And then a little further than that, there is a T-bar. Well, it dawned a perfectly sunny day. That's the sun peeking through the trees. And here's the ski area. Spring Lake Ski Hill. Unfortunately, their phone number doesn't work. Nobody's responding. I figured it would be closed, but I wanted to see for myself. A local guy here who actually confirmed that the ski area has actually been closed for the past, I don't know what he said, 2, 3, or 4 years. So, looks like this is history. So, Spring Lake Ski Hill is actually located near Spring Lake. There's a real lake here. Apparently there's horse riding and boating and all kind of summer stuff. Unfortunately, they're not open for winter anymore. Fortunately, within reasonable driving distance, I think it's a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, is the Nighthawk ski area, so I'm going there next. Nighthawk, it's 10 o'clock now. Nighthawk opens at 11 a.m. So I'll be a little bit late, but I'll be there. lot of Alberta here near the town of Grande Prairie is pretty flat. So Nighthawk ski area builds itself as the largest non-mountain ski area in northern Alberta or something like that. Non-mountain meaning there is no hill. Instead, just like at Fairview, there's a canyon, and so we're gonna ski into this canyon. The parking is at the top. Because judging by the number of cars in the parking lot, it's a pretty popular ski area. And of course, it's a Friday, a holiday Friday just before New Year's Eve. The absolute highest point of this non-mountain ski area is this beginner little hill right at the very top of the canyon's rim, so to speak. And it's just a short little thingy. This is supposed to be a hip place, so there's this loud music blaring everywhere on the outside of the lodge. Of course, the reason why it's so popular here, it's well, it's a sunny day, but also the ski area is just 11 miles from Grande Prairie, which is the largest town for hundreds of miles here. The ski area has a triple chair and a T-bar. Oops, I was wrong about the lifts. There's actually 3 lifts. The chair lift, then there's a T-bar, and a platter lift. Unfortunately, the chair lift is out of commission right now. And it has an advanced trail called Show Off. And then here's a T-bar. Northern side, which is facing south of the canyon, is all sunshine, but here we're in the shade and we're barely getting some traces of sunshine. The beginner platter lift is popular. It's December 29th, only about a week or less than a week after the winter solstice, and the sun is very, very low on the horizon. It's only sunny here at the very top of the canyon. Pick your spirit animal and go with it. So they have a terrain park with all kinds of instructions, but this is interesting. Absolutely no rental equipment allowed on the rails. They also have this jump, which I believe is only used in the summer to practice aerials, inverted aerials and whatnot. I don't think they use it in the winter because the landing is just too flat. There's a little pond that's frozen over right now. They also have 2 magic carpets. One is a short one at the very top, and this one is much, much longer. The shorter one, magic carpet, is called Bob's Bump. This is the Canadian Motor Inn Motel in Grande Prairie, Alberta, and it is 8:30 in the morning and it's still dark, probably dawning around 9 a.m. Little Smoky ski hill, Alberta. I've skied a lot of ski areas in Alberta and British Columbia so far, and I think this is the only one that actually insisted that I register or reserve my spot ahead of time online. It turns out that even if I'd come here or without that reservation, they would probably still allow me to go through, but instead of just selling me a ticket, I would still have to go on their computer, go online, and formally register. So Little Smoky, just like Nighthawk and Fairview, there's no mountain. It's all flat, flat, flat. But then suddenly there's a canyon, and there's a ski area. Places like this make me feel old. The lifties are all like teenagers, and most of the clientele here are like little kids or moms with kids. I'm the only grandpa here. I don't see any other people my age. Well, this journey across northern Alberta was a bit challenging. I had to keep changing itineraries as I found out how certain areas will be open or not. For example, Misery Hill near Peace River is actually closed. They have some insurance problems, and they don't want to operate until that insurance issue is solved. My original plan was to ski here at Little Smoky ski hill yesterday. By the way, Little Smoky is named after a Smoky River, which runs through here somewhere. So I was going to ski Little Smoky yesterday, and then today I was going to ski at Nighthawk. But then Nighthawk announced that they're going to be open all day yesterday, but today they're only open for night skiing, and I wanted to see it during the daytime, so I switched around and went to Nighthawk first, then back here to Little Smoky. So complicated. It's amazing how my car is relatively clean, at least the front side of it. After 7 days of skiing, 3 in British Columbia and 4 in Alberta. But boy, the rear end really needs some some washing. Yeah. So my original plan was to come to Little Smoky from the northwest, so to speak, from Fairview down here, and then continue on south to Nighthawk. But as I had to change, I did Nighthawk first, then I came here more or less from the southeast, and anyway, on the northern route, which I explored very carefully, there was no lodging there, and so I stayed. I thought there was no lodging anywhere here. But as it turns out, there is one in a little town called Valley View, almost directly south of here, and they have at least 2 motels. I would have probably stayed there, which is, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes from here, maybe even less than 40 minutes, whereas I had to drive more than 2 hours, I think, yeah, more than 2 hours from Grand Prairie, which is over 100 miles from here. So now I'm heading straight home, and it's a lot of driving. I estimate 2 whole days of driving. By whole day, I mean something like 10 hours every day. I am approximately 10 hours north of Kamloops, where Sun Peaks is located, just so you can see from there roughly how far I am north. So it would be nice if I could reach Kamloops tonight, but I don't know, after spending a whole morning skiing here, there might not be enough time to get to Kamloops, and then from Kamloops I'd have a whole day of driving back home too.